Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wisdom Seed podcast. I'm very happy to share with you tonight a talk from Phakchok Rinpoche and Erric Solomon from November 2018. This was a talk they gave about their book, Radically Happy, and we held this at the Philadelphia Ethical Society. I'll put the link in the show notes if you want to see a couple photos from the event. And the intro in the beginning is from Michael Carroll. Once again, this book is Radically Happy, and that's available on Shambhala Publications.
It's my honor to introduce our two speakers this evening. So I'd like to introduce Phakchok Rinpoche, born in 1981 to a family recognized for their generations of spiritual accomplishment. Rinpoche was recognized as the seventh Phakchok Rinpoche, an incarnation of a great teacher and meditation master. Receiving ordination from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Rinpoche received a thorough education and training in Buddhist philosophy and meditation, studying with some of the most accomplished masters of modern times, his main teachers being his grandfather, Kabje Tulku Ujen Rinpoche, and Nyulso Ken Rinpoche. Rinpoche completed his education at the Zongsar Institute of Advanced Buddhist Studies in Bir, India, where he received the Kempo title. He is able to playfully combine the scholarly tradition of his studies with the experiential tradition of his main teachers in order to give his students the necessary tools to discover the wisdom and compassion that lie beneath our habitual ways of seeing ourselves and the world around us. Now Rinpoche travels the world teaching in Buddhist centers, universities, monasteries from Asia to the United States, from South America to Europe. I'd like to introduce Erric Solomon. Throughout his career as a Silicon Valley technology entrepreneur and now as an author and innovative meditation teacher, Erric has been interested in understanding the mind and how it functions, both as a user experience designer and as a mind hacker. Eric's interest in human-computer interaction took shape when, as a teenager, he taught programming to children and school teachers. As a participant in the Logo group at MIT's Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, he interacted with some of the world's deepest thinkers on how to make intelligent machines. This experience inspired a lifelong passion to understand the mind and how it functions, and it led Erric to the study of Buddhist theories of mind and the nature of consciousness. He has been an invited speaker leading seminars and retreats in corporate settings such as the World Bank and Silicon Valley tech firms, as well as in prisons, temples, and Buddhist centers across the United States and Europe. So just a quick remark, I haven't gotten to read the full book, but I got to fiddle around inside that. And as, for me, the mixture of these ancient spiritual disciplines with modern workplace, or modern challenges is an area of great interest for me. And I think the thing that struck me most powerfully is in the book, the word happiness, we bring a lot to it, but one of the things that they both accented in the book was that the notion of happiness is cultivating dignity, that being human is to be noble. To be happy is a noble situation. It's not about pleasure. It's about being noble and uplifted. So there's a great message, an important message, and I thank you for bringing it to all of us this evening.
Thank you very much. Very happy to back. I don't know, some of you saw me few years ago. I came to Philadelphia in a Quaker house. I gave a talk. So I don't know, anybody saw me that time? Okay. And what is actually experience? How important the experience is? Is really important, life experiences, or is not that important? What we know until now, the experiencing of life and the world and individual is the most important. To me, I believe so, you too. So what are you going to call the experience that you like to have all the time. Every morning you wake up, you have in that mood automatically. In the night you go to sleep, you want to be in that experience. You want to be that experience, there's something independent that you can reach that experience your own self, or you want to have an experience that should be dependent to things or someone or some situations. So, very important, I think, to actually to see or to actually ask or experience a little bit of ourselves, that our experiences is actually independent or dependent. I'm talking about nice one that you can call whatever you want to call, blissful, happiness, whatever you want to call, pleasure, satisfaction, positive. So right now we say happiness because this is what common word we use. We don't use blissful so often. We don't use satisfaction too often because we don't maintain an satisfaction too long. So what we use the word commonly is happiness. So now is a time to think, what is happiness mean to us? Someone here thinking, I'm worthwhile to be happy. And I'm happy. Someone you can think, I want to be happy, but the circumstance and the conditions of the world or the political or whatever situations, families or financial or whatever, that makes you not happy. Or someone thinking, I want to be happy. When I'm happy, I feel guilty about it. Because other beings are not happy. So am I can be happy? It's okay to be happy? So whatever the situation is, whatever the person who you are, the most important part is when you are not well or when I am not well, I cannot come here to speak to you, mentally or physically or emotionally. When I am not physically fit or mentally fit or emotionally fit, I cannot talk, I cannot do, I cannot deal with anything. Am I right? So it's worthwhile to be fit, mentally and emotionally and physical? So that is yes. Then why not I can be a little bit of positive, be positive, little bit satisfied, little bit positive, little bit happy. What is wrong with that? When I know how to be happy, I can help other people or I can resonate to other people how to be happy too. When I cannot be how to be happy, I love to see other people happy, but when I look myself, I'm not happy. So you know how to know you are happy or not, or I'm happy or not? You know how to know? How to check? Okay. The best time for me, or I want you to check yourself, when the day begins in the morning, that I don't do work, not yet start the work, so I pause a little bit for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Pause meaning don't move, don't talk, don't
Pause.
Pause. Then you remind yourself that you don't have nothing. You have no job, you have no home, you don't have no companion, and you don't have no insurance. Then you exhale your breath. Pause for 2 seconds, then breathe again. What the sensation what does really you can feel? Like that? Or like that meaning little edginess? Or still? Or satisfaction? Or unsatisfied? Or steady? Or fear? Or lonely? Or searching for something? What does feel? That is the way to see your happiness. Now you know that our safety net, emotionally net, physically net, happiness net, is actually depend on so many things to maintain. We cannot be happy by itself, by myself. I need to maintain throughout. So that is the I want to start with. It's a very enlightening when you pause a little bit. Why we do so-called meditation? Do you know who is the most successful meditator? It's not the time of how long you do. I've seen people, they do for hours and hours and hours, and they don't know how to meditate well. And some people do very short, but they do very well. Do you know the secret? The secret is you need to learn how to pause. That's it. How to pause. What does it mean pause? Exhale. For 2 seconds, you hold. Or you breathe in, pause for 2 seconds. That time, your mental activities pause for a second. Then that time, you can find what kind of happiness that you have. End of the day, we need to be stable. Whatever we have, we want to be stable. Isn't it? You want to be stable in your house. You don't want to see a bank robbing your house. You don't want to see insurance gone. Then you worried about things. Stableness. Same thing when you pause. You really can see things clear. So that is what I want to begin with. Why we choose happiness. And I know some of you think, is it really possible to be happy? Because I'm so miserable that I never think that I can be happy. It's possible. Some of you can think, I'm happy, I'm a chill out person. I don't need this book. And that both person, I really recommend, you need that book actually. Because you always happy, you think you don't need the book. That's why what you need is radical. The book name actually called what?
Radically Happy, a user's guide for the
You
mind.
see? Radically happy. So what you really
Available
need,
at fine bookstores everywhere.
yeah. What you really need is people who's happy. Always happy, you think positive. And I am like that. But I need the radical way. I need to have the radical exercise, the techniques to be radical. The people who think they cannot be happy, of course you need to have the book because it's happiness. User guide of mine. So no matter what extreme you in spectrum, this way or that way, right or left, you need this book. You know why? Because this book is talking about 3 steps of happiness. The first happiness called basic happiness. The second called interconnected happiness. The third one talk about radical happiness. And I know some of person tells me, when I see the yoga teacher, when they put the 2 legs on in the thing like this and standing by 2 hands for the whole body, I love it. And I thought, I'm so confident myself that I can do it. And when I did that, no way. I cannot put 1 leg on my thing. All right? I feel the cranks in the tummy and cranking everywhere, but my confidence is so strong that I don't need that beginning class. But when I try the advanced class, I'm failing. I feel so miserable. I say, oh no, I thought I'm good. Why I feel so bad now? Oh shit, Oh no, I'm that worthless. I thought I'm really good. I'm better than the advanced yoga teacher. What is going on? And I bombarded myself. Please don't do that. I know all of us, we know that we can do better. But good to start from number 1. So the basic happiness is very important. I know we all like to do radical one, but the basics is very important. So I want to give to my friend Erric to talk about the whole stuff of this. So this is my opening speech to you all to think a little bit. Because I had a really good conversation in today's lunch, and he said, why you use the happiness word? My teacher, Trungpa Rinpoche, used chill out. It's something from bottom. Then I did not answer that time, but I thought about it. I thought, he's correct. What Trungpa Rinpoche said is correct. So I need to think back why we chose the word of happiness. So that I think I try to answer a little bit today. So, okay, Erric, now you.
Yeah, I think that we chose the word happiness because honestly, most people are completely preoccupied by at least avoiding stuff that's going to really be horrible, right? Maybe they don't dare to wish for happiness, but at least all of us spend so much time trying to avoid this and cultivate that. And even that's fine, but the problem is our expectation and the emotion that we build around it. So I was in Silicon Valley. I can't remember I always find it hard to listen to that biography. But you read it very nicely. Thank you. But mind hacker, huh? I was in Silicon Valley, entrepreneur, and I made and lost a small fortune a few times. And the second time was really horrible because I felt so stupid. How could I do this again? And I was really, in my mind, I was completely wiped out. Yeah, I lived in a home with a swimming pool and a beautiful view of San Francisco Bay. You could see the city 25 miles to the north. And the point of this story is not to feel sorry for the affluent guy who doesn't know how to enjoy his swimming pool. It's to show you what kind of state I was in. How I've been practicing meditation for years and following Buddhism, and I was a student of Rinpoche's grandfather, and it was all gone, all unavailable. And I get this call from one of my teachers in France, and it's like 5 a.m. So I had like 2 or 3 really strong drinks the night before because I was just numb, nothing worked. I could see my wife was really worried about me. I went to bed. 5 a.m. phone rings. Hello? Right? I just woke up. Hello? Hello, Erric, this is Rinpoche. Hello, Rinpoche. Erric, I'm on the veranda with a glass of champagne, celebrating impermanence. Oh, that's nice, Rinpoche. He said, don't think about yourself too much. Sorry, I screw it up every time. Right now, everything's fine. Don't think about yourself too much, and boom, the phone goes down. I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. I mean, part of me was sort of very grateful that, he bothered to call. I was a little wondering how he even heard. But I was also a little annoyed. I mean, 5 a.m., right now everything's fine, and don't think about yourself too much. And thanks for all the nice words about champagne. I didn't really think about it. It's probably 2 in the afternoon in France and probably not champagne time. But anyway, I get out of bed, take a shower, and I sit down to do my practice. And so I'm just sitting there, kind of like what Rinpoche said, on pause. And it all just hit me. On pause. In that moment of pause, everything's fine. Everything was fine. Right now, everything's fine. And then I thought, every day when I go to work, I was an executive in this company. We really screwed up. A lot of people got hurt. And some of them were wondering how they're going to get their kid through college and stuff like that all of a sudden. And I spent my day, it was my duty. I had to be there for other people. And while I was being there for other people and not indulging in my whiny BS, I was okay. I wasn't focused on all my narcissistic wallow. And it's interesting. So just that funny little phone call was 2 things. 1, his confidence in me. And 2, he knew that I had tasted enough of this pause and this being off myself. All I needed to do was a reminder. So this is kind of the basis of why radically happy. Because we're all running around in this crazy world. We have this thing in our pocket that's always demanding our attention. It's a marvelous communication device, but basically it's reminding you that 24 hours a day, you can be entertained, you can communicate, you can do your work, and there's never a moment's rest. Everything's right now going faster and faster and faster. We're all feeling like there's so many curveballs being thrown at us all at once. Everywhere we go, we thought, what could we do? What could we do for ourselves, for our friends, for our students? What could we give them that fits into the life they already have, that's highly leveraged, that reminds people that right now everything's fine, even when it's not? So why radically? Well, radical in Latin means root, the root of happiness, which is something in modern society I think we're drawn farther and farther away from. So where is the root? It's in that pause. Where is the root? It's through our interconnection and the meaning we draw through our glorious interaction with the world, good, bad, and otherwise, the richness of human experience. And radical also means we're probably going to have to do something a little out of the ordinary to discover it, to find the gift that we already possess, that's there in the pause, that's ours to uncover. So in the book, Rinpoche tells a story, he might tell a little more about it later, where he talks about something he learned from his teacher, about how when you throw a stone at a dog, what does the dog do? Chases the stone, right? But a lion, when you throw a stone, doesn't chase the stone. He says, who threw the stone? He looks to see where the stone's coming. Now, if you're the stone thrower, at that moment, what do you do? You either run away or you get eaten. Either way, there's no more stones. In the same way, we're always chasing thoughts and emotions. We know better, but we're always doing it. The second we can turn our attention away from the habit of chasing thoughts and turn to where the stones come from, where the thoughts and emotions come from, suddenly we begin to discover this pause. Okay, so that's a little bit about the book. And then Rinpoche, why we wrote the book and why we gave it that title. And then Rinpoche said there's 3 steps. So there's basic happiness, interconnected happiness, and radical happiness. So the first part is basic happiness, where we begin to come in more and more to the present moment. But why? Why does that matter? I'll give you one quick example. Ever have a perfect day? Just seems like everything's great? Have you ever caught yourself? This happened to me many times. I lean back, I'm so blissed out, it's wonderful, and I think, oh, too bad every day can't be like this. Right? Everybody does this. In the middle of the perfect day, there's this, we're already too bad. Right? Already a little bit of dissatisfaction has crept in. It's the flaw of circumstances is they're not reliable. And we already know it. And we're already, because we've somehow tied this perfect day to not just us, but the whole thing that's going to change, and then too bad. There's some interesting science that tells us when we can come into the present moment, we're much, much better. They put an app on people's iPhones and ask them random times of the day, what are you doing and how are you doing? And what they found out is that when people are present moment focused, they tend to be much more well within themselves. What do you think the number one activity was for being well, present moment focused? You're blushing. That's right, it's making love. And my question is, so who are these people that are making love and their phone goes, oh, excuse me, I've got to go answer this app. I don't know. I don't know if it was a flaw in the experiment, but this is what I'm thinking. They found that even people in Bay Area traffic, horrible Bay Area traffic, were more likely to be well in themselves if they were present moment focused in the traffic than daydreaming about something wonderful. So it's not that thinking is bad, but it's the habitual, of course there are times, like I was a programmer, I had to think. That is okay. It's also okay to let your mind wander. My wife's an artist, and there's nothing better for creativity than sometimes just letting the mind run. But most of the time, we're just at the cafe, our friend hasn't showed up yet, and we're just worrying around, and those thoughts start to become anxieties, and then those, like I drink the water. Actually, Philadelphia water is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But, I really like the water in my village in France. I live in France, so nice by the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean's so nice in the summertime, especially, except for all the people. But sometimes, I go to Spain, it's just, I'm right over the border, and in Spain, it's a little more chill. And you see what happens? I start with a present moment impression, and I'm in Spain. Next thing. So, basic happiness, you're with me, right? This is making some sense? Oh, what do you know? Okay, 3 steps. First one is always react to thoughts the same way. Second one is relax the comparing. And third one is be present. So always react to thoughts the same way means we're going to exercise our mind, train our mind to not always chase the thought, each thought deserving special attention, and just instead Stay fully present in the face of whatever thought and emotion arises. Relax the comparing is what happens when these thoughts start to solidify and become stronger and stronger. We have this whole, I'm this, my life should be that, which in and of itself isn't bad, but then the emotion comes. And it's often kind of self-denigrating. So we relax the comparing, and be present is how we bring it into everyday activity, present moment awareness into everyday activity. So that's basic happiness.
Word is not coming out. Happiness for me, when I think about the happiness, and I see myself in challenge in life, is that, it's very few human beings we know how to say, okay, I'm enough. Human beings, we are not good at saying enough. We like to say in America, thank you, but not enough. Never enough. Very few people is enough. Whoever is enough, then we think, oh, you're not really human being as us. They have a story that I remember now. There was a very famous astrology person, and he told the king, saying that within a month, in the full moon day, they're going to have rain. And the rain is so poisonous that people who drank that water, everybody become crazy. So what the king did is he secured his wealth when the rain came. So whole kingdom become crazy because they drank the water. So the whole kingdom pointed the finger at the king, saying that you are crazy, not us, because now you have whole kingdom are crazy, and the crazy together is all okay, but then you are not crazy, so you are the crazy one. No, what the king did in the end, he didn't drink that poisonous water to become crazy, to join that group. See, what I see nowadays is that I don't see independent freedom person. What I see is all the time, it's always you need to be depend on something, and we need to always, my meditation master tells me, oh, Phakchok Rinpoche, don't be like dog, be like lion. This is the question, this is the example that he told me. So I think Erric already explained a little bit of that. But then the second time, what they actually did is he told me that you should experiment, you should check traditional, we don't say experiment, he said check yourself. This is what they usually say. So I like to check myself. What is going on? What is going on after meditation? What is going on when I don't do meditation? You need to know how to do. Sometimes we think, oh, because of I'm doing some exercising, oh, now I have the radical book thing, okay, now I'm doing some exercise, or I'm joining some groups or meditation groups or yoga groups or whatever groups we are in. So I'm okay, and I'm doing okay. Dong, Really okay? Really okay? I don't think so. The best person you should ask is first yourself, second your companion, third is your friends or families. You always need to have 3 angles to look at yourself. 3 perspective. So when you do something, what does mean exercise, mental exercise mean, like meditation? What does mean to you? A pause. We're using this word of pause. What pause actually going to do you? The pause should be transforming you or helping you to maintain happiness or a little bit more happy. But the whole idea, all these practices, all the exercise, we use in the book some meditation, but we like to use a lot of exercise word. We use word of exercise. They're doing this whole thing because that we can actually see some improvement. We need to say sometimes, thank you, no thank you. I'm enough. You can say that to your thought, it's enough. Don't think about it. It's okay. Drop out. Hang loose. Be happy, don't worry. Don't worry, be happy. You understand? You think that your mind, the habitual mind, listen to us, our own choice? Most of the time, no. Oh, it's okay, hang loose, drop out. Oh yeah, okay. So the whole idea of the basic happiness is interconnected happiness and radical happiness. The basic happiness is the first thing is you need to have your mind little bit of, how you say, present for split second. I'm not asking you to do for hours or minutes. Just a split second. Just exhale and pause. So after you do that well, or they have another exercise called creating space. Okay, so I think Erric can talk about more of creating space. The most important part that I think is important is the called relaxing the comparing. Because what I have found in my life is I'm happy. Actually, I'm very lucky. But I like to compare. And I don't like to compare who is not good than me. I like to compare who is better than me. So what happens? Of course, I'm not happy. But then, human mind is so funny, or my mind is so funny, that always I need to compare somebody better than me. That I don't like to compare with somebody who's... Do you know that they have 3 billion people are much more unfortunate than us? Do you know that? Or actually 4 billion people. But no, we don't do that. We look at the upper first percentage of the people lifestyle, and that most of the time you see in the movies, in the channels, and people like to watch a lot. This some families, going through planes and expensive cars and bags and lipsticks and all these things, and men shoes and jackets and handsome looking. Do they have any ugly heroes? They have anyone a very nice person to be hero? No, every time should be very strong. Every time should be shooting something in the air, a fly in the sky. Why? My idea is human nature is always, we have this habitual tendency from childhood, we always comparing. So we cannot let go of comparing, because that we don't know how to improve life when you don't do that. So how to do it? So we use word, you need to notice that and relax. For a few minutes, free from comparing. Be present, relax. And how to relax? That's the question people ask me. Rinpoche, you say relax. Okay, let it go. How to do that, I tell people, so easy. Exhale your breath and don't inhale for 2 seconds. How much hard that is? Okay. No, that is not exhaling. Exhale means exhale whole breath. How? Yes, like that. No, like, that is enough? No, that is not exhaling the breath. You understand? We forget sometimes how to breathe. So I give you one example. I came back from San Francisco, and one of my relatives passed away. So I need to be the person beside the person who's actually seeing the last breath and the last heartbeat. And doctor claimed the person is death. Okay? So I can see a lot of people's upset, and I'm upset, and I try to compare with people saying that, he's not old enough. Why he died now? He's such a good person. Now, everybody telling me he's such a good person. He done everything good, and why he died now, and all these things. All the evil people live so long. All this kind of comparison coming up. So I told them, breathe. The thing that I told my relatives is breathe. People who tense, we forget breathing. We go like this. Yeah, I know. Really, you listen your air coming out from. You don't breathe all. You tense here, physically somehow. Like this. I say, breathe. They feel quite okay after a few seconds. So I need to remind myself all that. So this radically happy book, radically happy book, seems like it's like, it's kind of happiness, changing, it's like thing. Actually, when you look carefully, it's actually no. Why? The first basic happiness, we talk about how to build your base, your mind, creating, feel the spacious, be present in the moment, all that. But then this tells you, relax the comparing of your experiences, relax the comparing of others, all that. But then interconnected, happiness. The first one, of course, my friend going to say. The second one that I like, they say, relax the judging. Relax the judging. Now you just reflect yourself. How many judgments we go through? Every single thing. And I met many smart people, successful people. They say, Rinpoche, that the judgment is very important because I'm so successful. Now I'm judging all. I say, yeah, but honestly speaking, you think carefully. Are you successful emotionally? Number one, yes, you are successful in the work. I agree with you. And I am actually quite fierce person myself too. I'm a working person. I work in NGOs and foundations and all those things. I'm a fierce guy, actually.
It's true.
I asked my secretary, Joshua, I say, do you see me a little different? He said, yeah, Rinpoche, actually, last year and this is a big difference. I said, what is the big difference? Last year, you always expect things to do, and you really expect, it's very high. To fulfill your expect, it's so hard. But this time you relax. I think you know that people who's working for you is not that smart enough to fulfill your expectation. Actually, yes, can be, but actually, no. I don't judge. Judgment is so funny. When you are a nice person, you automatically use the judgment people who are not nice. You think morally you are good. You right away judge people who's morally bad. You are doing something respect to other, people have little bit disrespect. You don't ask any question, you don't do anything background check. You right judge. Right away. And I tell people, now when we practice happiness, meditations or interconnected practices. Don't become moral police. We are not becoming a moral police. Yeah, I'm doing this. Are you doing this? Or no, am I doing, please don't. Who give you the authority to do that, actually? Nobody. And don't do that. So there are many research, my friend can tell you, because nowadays everybody need to do research, what research say. I tell my friend, I said, the best researcher is me. I told my friend, it's myself. In America, I'm married, I'm a married person, so my wife is arranged marriage. I was a monk until 25, so my family, Asian, sometimes we like to, I think everywhere is same in America, but the Asian like to think bloodline is so important to carry on. So my father arranged marriage for me. So my wife grew up in the US. Ethnically we are same, but she grew up here and I grew up in third world country, so-called third world country, Nepal. And she grew up in first world country. And so we have very different perspectives and like that. So we get married and we together and all this stuff. So the point that I like to share after we sort of get married and is I keep seeing in my life that I need to check how meditation actually works. One day we are so happy together in marriage, the third day of marriage, and I'm dreaming, I'm dreaming like the movies, going to honeymoons and hugging and holding hands and the most beautiful time. No way. The first thing what we did in third day after marriage is fight. And so I left out from my bedroom. And I did not went so far. I just went one floor down. And I waited for her to come to call me. And of course, she did not come. And so I'm so equally proud that I don't want to go in without she calling me. So I sleep in the couch. So that is in Kathmandu, is not so cold, but it's kind of 3, Celsius is like 3 in the evening.
That's cold.
That's cold, but it's not cold as like,
It's
freezing.
less than 40 degrees.
Yeah, it's not freezing. So I sit there, that my whole life that I built, that my memory, that's a dream, collapsed that night. I feel so lonely, okay, and my dreams collapse. And I stand up. I try to sleep like this. I remember so well. I sleeping like this, and I can't sleep. And I look up, and I try to remember my teacher. I say, my meditation teacher. I say, you're so right. You're saying that samsara is suffering. I agree now. Before I did not agree with you because when you have a nice, girl with you, it's not happiness. Why is suffering? My teacher, you don't have beautiful wife. That's why you're having problem. This is what I thought when I was younger time. And now I say, yes, you are right, 100% right. I can see nothing is working. I feel so empty inside. Really, truly. I have nothing to base, I have no surrender to who. You know what I did? I stand up, put my hand, I meditate. I meditate half an hour. That meditation was the most effective meditation ever I had done until that. You know why? Because I'm fully in there. I give my fully 100% my heart into meditation because I know I have nothing to lose now. I've lost everything. So basically I gave fully. Next morning I woke up and she came out and I'm very happy. And I say, hi, good morning. She said, yeah, that easy to forget. I'm not forget all yet. So I really learned, that she's from East Tibet. her family is from East Tibet. They are known to be very strong women. And her grandmother is fighter, she fight like a man, or more than man actually. She lead the men to fight. So all that, then she grew up in the US. You understand? Background, very strong woman to grow up in the US. It's like two double plus, So it's not easy to fight like that. So I learned a strategy myself is to, I'm not going to say that, but I learned a way to go around nice way. So now it's okay, And then I came back to US. I stayed with my in-laws. Then I really want to enjoy American life. So I stopped doing meditation for a week. No spiritual chanting, no carrying prayer beads, off all the ritual stuff, put the statue in my box, nothing. Wake up morning, drink a coffee, eat a bagel with cheese, cream, like American lifestyle. Go to shopping, go up, wash little dishes, but her mother-in-law so good, she never asked me to do things, but I tried to help a little bit. She didn't want, I go to watch a movie. Then one day, I told my wife, I said, I want to go to dance club. Because I'm a monk. Until that, I never know what this dance club means. I seen it in a movie, dance club, nightclub, dance club, all that, jazz club, all this place. But I never experienced. And she's afraid to bring me to nightclub. I know it. She thought that I'm going to enjoy so much that, it's very dangerous. So what she brought to me is a dance club. Very dark color room, very loud music, and a bar, and beam light and shooting and bong 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 like that kind of stuff, And some people dancing, some people sitting like that kind of. So I went inside, So I sit in my wife and she make up a little bit, touch up the eyes and all this. Very strange. Then we went I alone, she's looking, I know. I walked towards this bar and there one man, huge guy. Then I need to order something, but I don't know what to order. But then I remember in the movie, they call screwdriver. They have these drinks called screwdriver. But I don't know what inside, I don't know I don't know anything about that. But I need to say something that cool, So I went there and say, what like the drinks you order? I say, screwdriver. And he goes, something like that, and they put some salt on the top. I don't know, something. I don't know, they very funny, then they just give to me. Then I give some tips, and he goes like this, I go like this. And and my wife looking, she said, you said you'd never been to club. But you act like such a natural and going and order things and coming and doing this. You are lying. Right? So I had fun, honestly speaking. I saw all that. So the point is that after 1 week later, my mind actually floating. Grumpy, floating. I'm a nice person, but a little bit more grumpy. Don't see things, not so calm. Always like, edgy, like. And she said, I said, now she said something like that. It's no time to think. Just act. After 1 week later, I said, I done the experience of life. I went back. I put the statue up, my meditation master photo, burned the incense. But eat the bagel, eat the drink coffee, exactly the same thing, but just add my meditation. So the difference is I feel grounded, much more easy to pause. I don't react fast. I see a little bit more compassion. I see my faults quite easy. That is what I wanting to tell my friend Erric when we wrote the book. Of course, I want scientists, people, research in the book, because this is what white American people like to hear. But my own perspective, my own experience is the best scientist is you. check yourself, reflect yourself. This is what I want to share with the whole rubbish stories. So, okay.
Yeah. Actually, just this is a little bit getting ahead of ourselves, but part of why is this moment of confidence when we have tasted present moment awareness and we know that it's reliable. That's what we call dignity, and that's the beginning of radically happy, being radically happy. Being radically happy doesn't mean it's always so perfect, everything's so great. Radically happy people, of course, experience loss, experience sadness, all the...
Angry.
Yes, for example. But the point is, it's about resilience, right? We are going to, as human beings, experience the full richness of human experience. But when we get angry, does it become that I shoot you dead? Or is it just a little anger? So, because I think we've been saying sort of some things about interconnected happiness, but I haven't really said what interconnected happiness is about, really. Interconnected happiness comes through our interaction with the world, with others. It's a process of uncovering our naturally warm heart. They did this experiment at Harvard. Sorry to talk about science for a moment. They did an experiment at Harvard where they followed these people for 75 years. And it took 4 different groups of researchers, of course. And this guy, George Valiant, wrote a book about it. And he said, happiness is love. What they found is that people who were kind, who were warm-hearted, who considered the needs of others, came to the end of their life and said, my life had meaning. My life had purpose. Not only that, these people had longer marriages, less alcoholism. They made slightly more money, in case that's important. But it's a side effect. It's a side effect of just being a bit nicer and considering others. What is the thing that's going around, this disease we were talking about in the car tonight, this disease that's ravishing modern cities? It's loneliness. It's loneliness. We've lost our connection with one another. We're constantly, there's everything about this fast-paced life, we're busy looking at our phones instead of at each other and feeling more and more disconnected. And what's weird about that is interconnectedness is the fundamental nature of reality. What I do affects you, you do affects me. What we all do affects the environment. What happens in our environment affects us. It's just common sense. And yet we're always living in the I, me, mine. I know some of you aren't, but I do. And, well, let's take a look at how that works. So another, experiment. It's called Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster. They brought these college students in groups of 3s to talk about a new set of policies that were being considered for implementation in university. Really boring stuff, actually, so bureaucratic. And they come in groups of 3s, and when they enter, one was chosen randomly to be the leader. And so after about 30 minutes of discussing this boring policy, they bring in a plate of cookies, 4 cookies, 3 people. So everybody takes a cookie. Now there's 1 cookie, 3 people. Who do you think gets the last cookie? Almost every time it's the leader. The randomly chosen leader, not the person who became leader because of their qualities. We think we're making my decision. It defines us. Our decision, my decision. I picked that bottle of wine. I walked into the store. I got the bottle of wine. Really? How did the store decide which of all the bottles of wine they were going to sell? Was there maybe a little thing in there that said this one won a gold medal? Was there somebody in the store who described it in a way that had all these kind of interesting tobacco cedar finish with a, anyway, you get my point. Facebook is based on the fact, I can tell you, I lived in Silicon Valley, on the fact that we are all incredibly malleable. They've studied our neurobiology. The whole advertising industry is based on the fact that I can get you to buy something you probably don't need that badly. I can make you want it. In that bottle of wine is the entire universe. In that bottle of wine is all the things we had to do as human beings to create stores, transportation. Somebody had to figure out how to ferment stuff. Somebody noticed that in the old days, drinking mildly fermented beverages was less likely to make you sick than drinking water. You needed to have a planet that supported carbon-based life forms. The more you think about all the stuff in the universe that had to occur for you to make that choice about the bottle of wine, the choice is the least interesting part. And you did it because of your habits, the trauma you suffered as a child, the culture you grew up in, the way your parents were, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's another great experiment recently where they asked people for their comments on bills that were going to come possibly before Congress, or at least that's how they said it. And people were all over the map, gave really insightful responses until they knew whether the bill was Democrat or Republican. And based on which party they were in, they knew they loved it or hated it. I know everyone thinks I'm different. But that's the point. We can be different. So the first step of interconnected happiness is contemplating the interconnected nature of reality and again and again and again reflecting, am I living in harmony with it or am I denying it? Are my decisions based really on wanting to see myself and the world around me authentically, or am I just responding habitually? And then when you come to the next part, which is relax the judging, this is really interesting because Rinpoche was hinting at this, that, what I learned in Silicon Valley, the greatest technologists and business people I knew all had one thing in common, which was they weren't attached to their judgments. Of course, you have to make a decision. You have to see what's out there and, should I hire this person or not? Should I go this way with developing the product or not? But judging means we become emotional about it. It has an extra charge for us. And when we're emotional, we no longer are willing to see the truth. 100 milliseconds after we meet someone for the first time, we've formed all kinds of irrevocable impressions about the person. Of course, some people are quite sensitive, and a lot of it's right. But the stuff that's not right is almost impossible to change. But what I saw with these great technologists and great business people, new data came in, they could throw away whatever they thought before and switch. They could adapt. And so relax the judging is about learning how to not be so attached to our judgments. Judgments, comparing is what I do to myself. Judgment's what I do to all of you. How do we do this? It's again and again and again uncovering our warm heart, our natural capacity to be warm, our natural capacity to be kind, our natural capacity to care for one another. If you look at so much of the problems in the world today, it's coming from, it almost seems like, people can't even listen to one another. We're all so locked into our point of view. Of course, mine is right, but I'm not sure about you guys, but mine's right. But as soon as I think that, I can't hear what you're saying. I'm not open to new data. I'm not willing to let go of how I look at the situation. So, how do we uncover our warm heart? This is one thing we could just do right now. We can just notice your breath. You don't have to sit in any particular position. You can. Just be comfortable. Notice your breath. Place your attention on your breath. And then you can use your hands like I'm doing. When you breathe out, just go like this. When you breathe in, bring your hands in. Everyone do this. Breathe out, go like this. Breathe in. So you come really into the present moment just through this. In, out. Now as we do this, we're going to think. As I come in, breathe in, may everybody be free from pain. As we breathe out, may everyone be happy. Breathe in, everyone be free from pain. Breathe out, may everyone be happy. You even can see the light coming from your heart, touching everyone. Breathe in, may everyone be free from pain. Breathe out, may everyone be happy. So let's just do this together for a while. Free from pain. Happy. Free from pain. Happy. Free from pain. Okay, how did it feel to wish everyone's happy? Can you do it? Really? Everyone?
So now we're very near towards the ending. So I want to add 2 words with my friends explaining about the I wish everybody happiness, I wish everybody free from pain. Yeah, okay. Now the 2 things that can be. I'm faking it. That intelligent mind, thinking that you're doing this is a faking, that intelligent itself actually making yourself not happy. That intelligent mind, that you can call intelligent, I don't like to call that as intelligent, but I like to call that mind is actually one way can be good, but one way is bad. So when you do that, just exhale, pause for a few seconds, 1, 2 seconds, then you need to sink in that thought, the word that you're saying. Sink in with the word, sink in with that feeling, sink in with that wish. You actually feel very naturally light up in your heart. Okay? You don't need to look for people to love you. You are the love. You don't need to feel kind to get. You are itself is kind. Now from there, you act. So one person asked me a question, Rinpoche, what is the purpose of life? Very famous question. Everybody asks. Many people ask this question. For me, when I think about it, I said, being and behaving. This is the 2 words I like to say. Being in the nature, being in the kind, being in the present moment, being in non-judgment state, being in the nature of mind. This is the meditation that we usually talk of like this. And behaving with that. When you are in the being in warm-hearted, kind, behaving you do positive. So what is the purpose of my life? Being and behaving. What is wrong with that? Is it cheap? Is no need to work hard? Is just right here and just need to do. And you don't need to big steps. You don't need to do steps. You just sit. You can achieve that. Now, additional, you can add many things. I can have house. I want to do charity work. I want to do this. I want to earn money. I want to play music. I want to help my father. I want to have a dog. I want to sew shoe. Okay, that all additional. But the real thing is being and behaving. Okay. Now the second thing I want to say about this thing, when you do this, it's really interesting. You actually can heal other people. You can actually help other people to get well. And not just that, just touching it, a person. I give you an example. Okay? I give you an example. So do you feel edginess? Do you feel uncomfortableness? Do you feel the atmosphere, I controlling that? Slowly by slowly? I can control the space, atmosphere. People who angry and upset, they really sink into that. They become the most nuclear power. Okay? And average people that don't have that nuclear power within themselves. Average people mean not so sad, not so happy, this kind of average like us. Now people who really meditate and really do this kind of practicing and warm-hearted naturally, not like, hey, I love you, I love everybody, whole love. I'm not talking about that kind of people, okay? It's okay with that people. I'm not against with these people. My teacher, he says like this, yes, we need to be happy. But yes, the world is a suffering, many levels. Yes, everything is a reality. Yes, we need to do things. It's here, right now. This is what teacher teach me. My teacher, meditation master, they don't like, oh, I kiss you, everything, love. Mm-hmm. They are not like that. They are like this. Or they're normally like this. Okay? When it comes to meditation, they go like this. Okay? We are normal like this. Okay? When it comes to meditation, it's like like a small, like a rat, small rat near to pussycat with a cat, with a small rat, and the rat goes like this, like that. We are like that. Comes to meditation. So, when you do this kind of practice, you really can become like that kind of generating by self. That's why I call nuclear. Nuclear means generate themselves, You don't need to pump or like this, generate by yourself. So, you can generate the feeling, you can actually control the atmosphere. So somebody's unhappy, just being there, you can slowly by slowly. You don't need to say, I love you, I kiss you, I accept you, so sorry. You don't need to say that. Just be in that place. You can actually, that person can actually, without the person knowing, he can actually feels better. And I met many people. Oh, Rinpoche, I met the doctor. The doctor is so kind. Just being that person, talking with him, I feel I'm okay. Mm-hmm. I met many patients like that. And I met a patient, Rinpoche, I hate the doctor. I'm not so sick, but after meeting this guy, I feel more sick. Because he terrified me. I met that too. So, which one you want to be. That is the choice that you have in your hand. Okay, so we're going to stop here. Radically happy choice. And so thank you very much, our Philadelphia friends
you.
who really work hard and staying home and giving me food. And the beef stew is very nice. And tomorrow going to be very nice stew too. And I'm very enjoyed. And all of you very much, thank you. And very nice listening. And both of us, we like to say thank you very much. Okay? So, I think I have 3 minutes. So 3 minutes, you can ask 3 questions. Anyone? 3 minutes, 3 questions. You have any question? Yes?
The 3 stages of this meditation, are they related to the others, to the 3 others?
Yes, you can say a little bit. When we wrote a book, a few days ago, he reminded me, actually we're writing a book about happiness, and we thought about it, and he asked how we do it. Then I said, why not we do
Happiness, great
happiness, great happiness, and bliss. But then the bliss, the word is so strange. So we don't want to make too much spending time to explain. So we make that. So you can say Tiriyanas, but we don't thought about that so detail, but it's kind of elements there. Yes. So, for example, you have a son or your niece or whatever, cousins or whatever. What book you going to refer? Something that is not conveying feeling,
preaching.
preaching. The whole idea that we make this book is make people, secular people who don't feel obvious that I'm brainwashing you or I want to convert you or no. This whole idea is not like that. You read, you think it's good, carry on. That is the idea was we have this book. That's why I asked them put a lot of these scientific things, Cookie Monster and I don't know, all this stuff. They have very good one. My favorite one is not actually there. My favorite one. How the genetically can be affected when you do the meditation. Genetically, you can actually changes. Not big, but subtle ones. They saw in the animals. Ducks, geese, hearing the mirror, thinking that some duck outside there. So then the scientist person worried that they could have broke the glass and so they took out the mirror, but the duck keep doing that without the mirror. But then the amazing part is the duck have their own small ducklings. The same mother who doing this, now no have mirror, keep doing, but she has some eggs and grow. And the ducklings keep doing the same thing. So they follow the same rhythm genetically or habitually, whatever, but they follow the exactly same thing. So the parents start meditating or practicing like this. Your children start doing that slowly without telling them. This is my idea was, but that was not in the book. We had wanting to put, but there's some reason not there. Okay, one question? Any questions, suggestions? No? Anyone? Philadelphia, no questions?
It's because we were so clear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sam Jentam Jibya.